Yeah, you like? Today on DNVR Buffs Live, it's Friday. We made it, y'all. 2026 recruiting class is heating up. The NFL Combine snubs the Colorado Buffaloes, plus Travis only listed at one position going into next month's Combine. Fill in the blank and much, much more. Let's go. Polynesian
Squad!
We're bringing the energy
Let's
today.
go. It's Friday. Let's get it.
If you don't like it, get out of the studio. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by the Front Range Toyota Stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Happy Friday, brother.
Let's get it, my boy. How you feeling today, bro?
Feeling great. Happy Valentine's Day, too.
Happy V-Day, bro. And what a beautiful day it is outside, man. The Lord has truly blessed us.
This is insane.
Bruh. No hoodie
This makes
needed.
no sense.
It really doesn't. Especially after the last few days, bro.
Yes.
It literally feels like June 14th outside right
For
now.
real.
I swear. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Me too, man. We got a lot to get to. We're going to play fill in the blank, everyone's favorite game. Talk some NFL Combine. But we start today with the 2026 recruiting class. And Colorado's heating up for the 2026 cycle.
Oh, yeah.
A couple visits came through. And another reclassification. But let's start with the quarterback. Four-star quarterback Oscar Rios is going to be visiting Colorado on June 20th. He is from Downey High School in Downey, California. I feel like we've talked about this guy before on the show.
Yeah.
202nd overall player, 14th ranked quarterback in the class, 6'3", 175. We'll get into the big picture thing with this, but you were just watching some clips.
I was.
What do you think of our guy Oscar Rios?
Hey, I'm impressed. I'm not going to lie. Just off of first watch, I'm really impressed. First off, this dude is about 6'3", about 180 pounds. He's a bit on the thin side, but again, this is a junior we're talking about pretty much in high school. He's going to have plenty of time to put on healthy weight, and I can definitely see him. He has the frame to kind of get up to 205, 210, 215 pounds potentially, and his height at 6'3" allows him to really see over the defense and kind of really place the ball wherever he wants. That was kind of the thing that stood out to me watching his film. Is this is a really accurate and kind of mature passer. Like, his film is littered with like deep routes, like fades, posts, into coverage. Like, you're not seeing many slants and hitches and screens that, receivers are doing all the work. Like, this kid, you can tell his head coach, his offensive coordinator, etc., is putting a lot on his plate from a mental perspective, and he's obviously already ready, to show what he's able to do. He's already got offers: Oklahoma State, Arizona State, Auburn, Nebraska, Washington, and a handful of others. So this is obviously a kid who's really I feel like Colorado's just getting in at the beginning. And I feel like the fact that he already is circled, a visit to Colorado, I think that means a lot. This is a really talented kid. And, obviously people would be like, well, Julian's in the building. They just landed a prize, a 5-star prize in the 2025 class. That doesn't mean that you stop recruiting that position. This is how college football works, especially
what great programs do.
Go ahead, talk about it.
I mean, look, man, you can't stop recruiting the most important position on the field. Look at what Georgia does year after year after year. Look at what Lincoln Riley does.
Yeah.
Oregon does. Oregon's trying to sign 2 quarterbacks this class.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so this is just what the great programs do. You got to keep going after these guys because you never know when anything's going to happen. An injury, a guy enters the portal. You just got to be ready. And it just shows
Excuse me.
1, 2, I think the most important thing about getting a quarterback, especially in recruiting, is it's what we saw from guys like Julian. Like, they recruit and they bring in players around them. So you find your guy in the 2026 class. You should go already start laying the groundwork to find up someone for 2027.
Yep.
Because if you get one of those blue chip, potentially 5-star, let's just say top 20-ish quarterbacks, like, those are guys that play 7-on-7 all over the country that all these other recruits are playing with.
100%.
You get one of those quarterbacks, you open the door for waves of recruits to come in from not just like wide receivers too, like different positions, like with Julian, Zeke Helton's a guy we talk about for 2026, the offensive lineman. Like, it's way beyond quarterback and skill position. It's about building a class.
No, 100%, bro. And again, this is the type of guy in that 2026 class. Wherever he ends up going, he's going to get guys, high quality, high caliber guys to go along with him. And again, if that place is Colorado, that's gonna bode really well for the Buffs in 2026 and beyond. Another thing I really like watching this kid's film is that he's, despite being 6'3" and looking like a true pocket passer, pure passer, dude can move. Dude got some wheels, and his coaches utilized that. He ran for 735 yards on the ground this past season and 11 more touchdowns on the ground this past season, in addition to 2,500 yards in the air, 22 touchdowns through the air. So, this is truly a dual threat guy who's athletic enough to use his legs and, in addition to what he's able to do throwing the ball deep down the field. So this is a really talented kid, and I'm excited that this staff is obviously on to 2026, and they're targeting some really talented guys.
Yes, they are. The other big name to come through today, Ethan Booby Feaster.
What a freaking name.
Just sounds like an absolute dog, a complete baller.
For real.
The big news from him, though, he's reclassifying.
Yep.
He is ranked the number one wide receiver in the 2027 class, is ranked a 5-star. And he decided, he's going to do what Julian did, what Ryan Williams did, what is becoming a big trend for these recruits, especially, he's listed 6 foot 175. He just finished his sophomore year in high school. Like, he's already dominating at that level. Why not at this point?
Why not?
Ryan Williams is literally one of the best players in college football this season.
And that's what I've heard some people call him, the next Ryan Williams. And I think he's a bit taller than 6 foot. I see at least one outlet here got him at 6'2". But regardless, dude is everything you want in your prototypical college football bona fide number one receiver. A demon in 50-50 jump balls, bro can run every single route in the route tree. Just this past year, in 2024, 57 catches for 824 yards and 13 touchdowns. 14.5 yards per catch, pretty much as a sophomore. As a sophomore at DeSoto, by the way, one of the top high school football programs in the entire state of Texas. As a freshman, bro did 32 catches for 634 yards and 9 touchdowns as a true freshman on a DeSoto team that went undefeated and won the state championship. Like, this is somebody who reclassification was made for. Like, you don't need to play 4 years of high school ball. You're wasting everybody's time. Get to college as soon as you can. And I can definitely see a Ryan Williams kind of arc from this young man, because again, he has everything. Just turn on some of his film. The young man is very much advanced for only being a sophomore in high school, and I put that in quotes because that's a grown man right there. I'm not gonna lie. And on top of it, bro's name is Booby. His nickname is Booby.
Bro.
Like, let's be for real. Like, and also too, like, is he a 5-star? He's a 5-star, right?
He is. 247 has him already still as a 2026 247 Sport Composite 5-star, 23rd overall player, fourth ranked wide receiver in the 26 class.
And he's already put out a Final 12.
Exactly.
Which includes the Colorado Buffaloes.
It does include the Colorado Buffaloes. So there is some level of interest. We have some of these visits getting announced this week, right? So it's heating up, this 2026 recruiting class. You're going to start hearing more of these announcements. 4 guys coming to town. Yeah. Especially this summer, and potentially underclassmen too, 2027 and maybe beyond, because teams have their underclassmen day usually in the summer as well. So
I feel like, and also too, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach Prime is yet to land a 5-star receiver. If we're not going to count Travis Hunter, who is a 5-star athlete.
Technically, Winnie Watkins was the first commit.
Really? Okay.
Of the Coach Prime era.
Educate
he was
me.
a
Okay.
5-star.
Interesting. Okay.
But then he ended up decommitting around about this time last year. Remember when all the quarterbacks decommitted?
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
But yeah, so he was technically the first. But yes,
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, though, a 5-star receiver is coming eventually.
It has to.
Eventually.
It has to.
And it might be Booby right here in particular. And again, this is a guy who he's going to be able to play right away as a true freshman wherever he goes, which will be, his real senior year in high school technically. And I feel like the fact that Juju just did it, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there could be some camaraderie there. There could be some similarities. Booby might want to play with somebody who's done what he's done in terms of reclassifying, moving up a grade, and being able to play right away or soon once they get to their college destination. So this could be huge.
Absolutely. A couple things more on Ethan Feaster, Booby Feaster, if you will. Yes, you mentioned he listed Colorado in a top 12. Talking about NIL, he says what he's looking for, just a good price. I don't want to go somewhere based off money. I'm going to go somewhere. I still got a good amount of money, but I'm in a good position, good culture, and great surroundings. That's the biggest thing.
That sounds like Colorado.
It sounds like Colorado's already in then.
Exactly. Sounds like Colorado. You love to hear somebody who's not just going to go where they can get the most money. And I think Joe Burrow actually said recently that he would advise high school guys to do that, or whoever's giving you the most money, that's where you should go. But obviously we know that isn't indicative of the best fit or, the best spot for a young man. And it's good to hear that Booby knows that, everything that shines, everything that glitters ain't necessarily gold. Just because they handing you money don't mean that that's the best spot for you. So that's awesome to hear. And yeah, I think that's kind of the MO of Colorado's program right now. If you want the biggest bag, that's not the spot for you. If you want to come to a program that's about you and it's going to help you develop and help you get to the next level, the NFL level, Colorado's the place for you.
100%.
Why a list of cooking your sneeze, bro? That's crazy.
I think he's just talking about Zach's sneeze. But let's listen to her judge sneezes real quick. She ain't doing it.
What?
He also said, I saw Alabama's Ryan Williams do it. That was the biggest thing. I felt like I can do it. I feel like I was ready for college.
Definitely. He is.
So, yeah, he will play one more season, obviously, this year. His junior season, or I guess if he's reclassifying, it's technically
his last one.
His last.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. Remember the name, Ethan Booby Feaster.
Yeah.
We got one more recruit to talk about. That is Rivals 4-star defensive back Donovan Webb. He is also coming to Colorado. He's going to be one of the first recruits to come and visit this offseason. March 15th, he has scheduled a visit with the Buffs. He also is going to Ohio State on March 17th, Michigan on March 18th, and LSU on March 20th. That's a hell of a 5 days right there.
Kid's a baller, man. And I don't know how he's not ranked on 24/7 Sports.
Go through the offer list. Do you have that pulled up?
I do. I mean, this young man has offers from Arizona, Arkansas, Auburn, Baylor, Houston, Kansas State, LSU, Memphis, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Oregon, Pitt, Purdue, SMU, TCU, Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M, Tulane, USC, Vanderbilt. And on 24/7 Sports, my man's does not have a single star ranking. So make it make sense. Actually, it doesn't. Let's not even try to make sense of that. We just got to realize that a lot of these recruiting sites, it's just what they know. And that's not necessarily what's the truth or what's the reality about a certain prospect. I mean, we just rattled off all those offers. I mean, this young man is going to play wherever he wants pretty much. SEC, Big Ten, ACC, whatever, Big 12. But sometimes the stars, as we know in many cases, in Quinn Gibson's case, for example, sometimes the stars are slow. Sometimes these recruiting sites are slow to what many people already know. But Donovan Webb, nonetheless, is a baller. 6 foot, 180 pounds, a safety. He had 4 picks, I believe, here in 2024. He would be a hell of a get for the Buffs secondary in the 2026 class.
Absolutely. It's a matter of time with the secondary, too.
Yeah.
They got Antonio Branch Jr. coming in this class. They lost Alex Graham. But since Cormani, they haven't had a blue-chip cornerback prospect really come in from the recruiting ranks. So they've obviously done well in the portal with Preston Hodge, DJ McKinney, Colton Hood. But, getting getting these younger guys and building the secondary for the future. That's kind of the next step. And it's, again, like you said with the 5-star wide receiver and Boobie, it's only a matter of time before one of those guys ends up coming into Colorado.
Facts, bro.
So there you go. The 2026 recruiting class is heating up. This is going to be a big one, obviously. We've already been talking about this class quite a bit. And we've talked about the 2025 recruiting class, these incoming freshmen now, and how they can kind of basically determine the trajectory of this program for the near future, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like it's already kind of paid off a bit with some of these names coming in. But after this season or during this season is really when things are going to start picking up. I think it's last year was a little quiet during the season, you know, in terms of visits and recruiting buzz. I mean, obviously it was really focused on Julian, but let's be honest. I mean, after the second or third visit, it was like, okay, I think it's a matter of time type of thing.
For sure.
After this recruiting class or after these freshmen come in here and make some noise this season, I think this is going to be a very, very the 2026 recruiting class is going to be good to the Buffs this year.
Yeah, and this spring, after this dead period ends in I think around a month, this is going to be a huge pivotal period for this Buffs recruiting staff in terms of solidifying the future of this program, because obviously there's a ton of talent, and as we know, college football can change, especially with the transfer portal and whatnot. But locking in as many guys as you can from the high school ranks, guys that you believe in, that you can believe that can develop and grow with your program, grow with the guys that you have kind of assembled in your building. That's how you take the next step as a program. That's how a really, really solid 2024 season doesn't just end up being a flash in the pan. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how it becomes the beginning of something really special here in Boulder, Colorado. And again, I love, we were talking yesterday about how Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, has assembled an elite coaching staff. He has truly assembled an elite recruiting staff, you know, led by Corey Phillips and Coach Box. I mean, they really, truly only go after the big dogs, it seems. And that seems to be a real, you know, difference from the last, obviously the pre-prime era. Like that's probably the biggest difference, I feel like, just in the guys, the names that they're able to attract and recruit. And again, when you can get a Julian Lewis, you know, when you can get some of these other guys that they got in this 2024 class, Chauncey Goodens, Zacarde Smiths, it's only going to bode well for the future and the classes and beyond. And this is when it starts. I mean, 2026 might sound like a far ways away to some people, but yeah, this is the time.
It is.
This is the time.
All right, let's take our first break. Shout out to the homies over at UC Health. It's the off season, right? It's just time to get better, to get healthier, bigger, faster, stronger.
Period.
For the next year. That applies to all of us, not just the players. You know, whether it's hitting the gym, getting more sleep. What are you doing to be a little bit more healthy this off season?
Man, I'm just drinking as much water as I can, bro. Trying to stay
that's one
hydrated.
of the best things you could possibly do.
Trying to stay hydrated, bro. You know what I'm saying? It helps with the skin, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. So make sure y'all drinking water, staying hydrated.
So shout out to UC Health. DNVR Buffs is brought to you by UC Health, the preferred partner of athletes in Colorado. Learn more about living like there's a tomorrow. Go to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health. Live extraordinary. Also,
shout out to our homies at Elevations Credit Union, man. These guys over at Elevations Credit Union, man. Just believe me when I say this is the sexiest credit card that I have ever laid eyes on. I mean, the black and gold.
Look at that thing.
Every
Holy
time you
cow.
charge it, it can help the CU program, CU Boulder as well, man. Go Buffs with the Go Buffs Visa Signature Rewards Card, the only official credit card of CU Athletics, only at Elevations Credit Union. Visit buffscreditcard.com to apply and see full card benefits and details. Wherever you go, Go Buffs with Elevations Credit Union.
shout out to the homies at Elevations. We mentioned the combine briefly towards the end of yesterday's show, but I want to dig into it a bit more because this isn't right. Honestly.
No, it's not, bro. Speak on it.
The Buffs got snubbed. Travis, Shador, Jimmy, and LeJontay. Those 4 players are the only 4 players invited to the NFL scouting combine. And honestly, look, in context, it's not that bad because I saw a graph yesterday, or like just an image on Twitter of all the schools and how many players from each school have been invited to the combine. And, you know, there's a I think it's Ohio State has like 15. Like there's a few schools with like, 14, 13, and it obviously kind of trickles down.
Right.
Like CU is in that group of 4, and there's only like 8 other schools. So it's obviously getting better. Last year only one was Zay Weaver, who didn't even get to participate because of his injury. But this isn't cool, man.
Doesn't really make sense. And I hadn't seen that graphic, so that's what I was curious to see, like, how.
Here, I'll find it and we can put it up.
What's like the average kind of, but if you're saying there are schools with 15, 14, 13 dudes there,
yes,
that doesn't make sense. Because again, if you're looking at Colorado, say what you want about this is a 9-win team. This was a 9-win team. This is a team that literally finished first place in the Big 12 here in 2024. And obviously there's a lot of NFL talent on this room. Obviously, not in this room, but on this team, on that roster, eligible guys, Buffs who are draft eligible. And obviously the 4 who are invited deserve to be there. But, even the names are right there on the screen that Ali's pointing out. Cameron Stillman-Craig, how is he not invited? Will Sheppard, after tearing it up in the SEC for 3 years prior to arriving at Colorado, how is he not invited? Especially after balling out at the damn Shrine Bowl. BJ Green, 7.5 sacks this year, I believe. Mm-hmm. After balling for 2 or 3 years at Arizona State in the Pac-12, and Chidozie as well. Again, this guy was a demon, a problem at Houston before probably having his best all-around season at Colorado here in 2024. Those are just 4 guys. You can add Shiloh as well. It really doesn't make sense. But like Uncle Neely told us yesterday, and I think he's spot on.
He is.
He's 100% spot on. You get certain things as a program when Coach Prime is your head coach.
He said there's an opposite effect to the Prime effect.
Yes, and you get certain things taken away when you have Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, as your head coach, and I think this falls under the latter.
So, yeah, look at this graph here. Top left, that's going to be the most. That's Ohio State, obviously.
That's
Georgia,
15 for Ohio State?
Yep,
Okay.
15. 14 for Georgia, Texas, 12 for Oregon, 11 for Ole Miss and South Carolina, 10 for the U, and then it's just multiple schools. Iowa's got 7, which is crazy. UNC is up there.
So Colorado got the
6.
same amount of guys at the combine as Cal.
Yeah.
That's what y'all telling me?
Yeah. As UCF, the team that was lifeless.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And Will Sheppard's obviously the biggest snub.
Think so?
You could talk. All the noise is going to be about Shiloh, right? Because he's a big name, and that's what we all saw yesterday when the list came out, was a lot of people mentioning that Shiloh didn't get it.
Right.
The biggest robbery in this is Will Sheppard, because you look at what he did the last few years in the SEC with terrible quarterback play at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Just being up front, honestly.
It's facts.
He goes to Colorado, takes on a reduced role, right? Going from the number 1 wide receiver to basically being the, at best, 3rd option in some games, sometimes the 4th option or less. Has a great season, puts up numbers, and then goes to the Shrine Bowl, is literally the talk of the Shrine Bowl, is going insane. The game, he has a big catch early on, and they're just like, all right, that's enough. We don't need you to keep on killing these kids. Give everyone else a shot. And then they don't give him a combine invite. There's 320 some people that got invited to this?
Yeah, 300 plus. I think that's somewhere right there.
There are not 300 better football players than Will Sheppard in this draft. That's insane.
It's weird, bro. I think Uncle's right, man. I think that's the tax. But nonetheless, it's a missed opportunity, but there will be other opportunities. Colorado's Pro Day will be a movie. Mm-hmm. And he obviously will, and the rest of those guys will get a chance to shine in front of a handful. I would expect half the league to have at least one representative at Colorado's Pro Day. Probably more. I think probably half is a bit on the low side, but yeah, man, this is going to be interesting. I guarantee that being snubbed from the combine is going to light an additional fire under some of these guys. I know Cam for sure will. I would assume would be the same. Shiloh with some of these other guys as well. So, but I'm happy for the guys who are going to the combine. That'll be a fun experience, and yeah, it'll be interesting. Travis being listed as a cornerback. Let's see if that really sticks, and see what he really does in terms of workouts that weekend in Indianapolis.
Do you think he still does wide receiver drills at all? He's got to, right?
I think he does. Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. It's not like people need to see anything else from him additionally at the receiver spot. But
well, to be completely frank, I don't even think Travis needs to do anything at the combine. But if he's going to do anything, if he just runs a 40, it doesn't matter what what position it says on his chest.
It's true.
I mean, and again, the time doesn't even matter.
I wonder, do you think that was his decision, or do you think he was given, you got to pick one? Do you think he was assigned? How do you think that kind of shook out? Might be putting you on the spot there.
Like, I don't think there's another player that's ever really had to do this. So there's no. I think if anything, it's an NFL thing.
Yeah. Because, or maybe they just talked to like NFL guys, like where would you slide him, and maybe went with the majority there. Like
Travis, he's said it so many times. He's both.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want to classify himself as either. And I don't think he'd want to go to the NFL Combine and do it that way. And I can't. Who are we talking about? Talking with at the Super Bowl about if Travis played both ways, you got to pay him. Oh, it was just that guy in the Dion shirt.
Yeah, with the Coach Prime shirt on. Yeah, facts.
But anyways, there's a bigger picture thing here with Travis and which position he plays.
Yeah.
In 4 or 5 years, when that second contract is negotiations are starting, and if he's playing both ways at the level he's been doing at Colorado the last 2 years, he's going to demand a historic contract, quarterback level money, basically.
Exactly.
So, and it starts now. It starts at the combine.
Yeah.
It's like Jimmy Graham, right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember that when he comes in, plays tight end, and it's like, now with the contract negotiations, I want to say I'm a pass catcher or wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's like you got to start that way, way before to give it some legs to kind of give you that momentum.
And that's kind of part of the reason why I asked you that, because I feel like that's an NFL mandate thing. Like, I feel like if it was up to Travis, he wouldn't have just said, yeah, I'm a cornerback, or, assigned himself to that. So that's why, part of me thinks that was just an NFL play, and they're already trying to put him in a box. Mm-hmm. Because that is important. That contract negotiations down the line, like that's a real thing.
Yes.
That's going to affect the real people and payroll and whichever NFL team drafts him. So that's going to be interesting, and I'm fascinated to see what, if anything, Travis does that week in Indianapolis.
Bummer for Cam as well, also not invited to the combine, but I mean, we know how that guy's built, his mentality. I believe in that kid, and I think he'll be fine. So
100%.
Do you have anything else you wanted to get to? We got a few minutes.
Should I get to my couple things?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. First off, we got to talk about a Big 12 team who is spending like crazy. Mm-hmm. An anonymous SEC personnel staffer told Pete Nakos at On 3 that Auburn, Michigan, Ole Miss, Texas, and Texas Tech spent the most money on their transfer portal class. And there was a quote from this anonymous SEC personnel staffer that says, in theory, Texas Tech fucked up the market for everybody.
Wow.
And again, listen to the teams that Texas Tech is being mentioned with in terms of NIL.
Sure.
Texas, Ole Miss, Michigan, and Auburn.
And then I saw Pete Nakos said that Texas's money was mostly spent on roster retention, which is even more insane.
And probably if that's the case, Texas Tech is probably more on getting guys in, because we talked about it. They've gone crazy in the portal this cycle, and we were all like, damn, why the hell they get all this money? And I don't know where all that's coming from, but nonetheless, Texas Tech, who was already pretty damn good in 2024, losing their running back, their quarterback Barry Morton will be back, but they're going to be a really good team.
Yeah.
And especially after we were doing our tier, of the contenders in the Big 12 in 2025. I think we had them A or B.
They were A tier. Yep.
Again, with a quarterback coming out, with a head coach who has been there and has kind of already established his culture, Texas Tech spending with the big dogs is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, and this is something we talked about in the lead up to last season. This is a conference for the taking, the Big 12. Yeah. When you lose to Texas and Oklahoma, those are your two, banner waivers, basically. The Big 12 kind of doesn't have that right now. That's why it's so important for Colorado to sustain this momentum the next 2-3 years and try to stake a claim for that, right? And Texas Tech has obviously seen that opportunity too.
No doubt. Yeah, Rodney just says, I wonder if Mahomes is playing any role in that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I mean, he's got Isn't he one of the highest paid players in the NFL still?
Gotta be.
What else do you got? You got a minute.
Brandon Walker at Barstool recently put out a tweet that caught my interest, and I wonder how Buff Nation feels about this. Brandon Walker goes, there are currently 13 fan bases in college football who are 100% completely happy with their program right now. He goes, Texas, Ohio State, Indiana, SMU, Notre Dame, Oregon, Arizona State, Ole Miss, Illinois, Syracuse, Mizzou, Vanderbilt, and Colorado as the 13 fan bases in college football that are 100% completely happy with their program right now. What say you, Jake? Is that valid?
I'll answer on the other side of the break. Chat, let me know right now. Are you 100% satisfied with the program right now? And if not, tell me what needs to change, what needs to get better, what direction would you want to see him go? If you're watching after the live, drop it in the comments as well.
Hell yeah.
Let's do this break and we'll get back to that. Shout out to the homies over at Bet365. NBA is, well, damn, we're on All-Star break. But get your futures in now, right?
Hell yeah.
I mean, you're halfway through. What better time than to make some predictions? Who's going to win the East? Who's going to win the West? Who's going to win the whole damn thing this year? Of course, NHL going on too. Get your NFL draft futures in over at Bet365. You can do some CFB 2025 season futures over there as well. And right now, if you sign up with the code DNVR365 with a $10 minimum deposit, you can get $150 in bonus bets. I'm sorry, $100 in bonus bets. Deposit $10, place a bet of $5, you'll get $100 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, you can use this on absolutely anything. Spread totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. We are also on TV. If you haven't heard, we are live on Samsung TV Plus, Xfinity, Xumo Play, more platforms coming soon. We're channel 2348 on Samsung TV Plus, channel 4072 on Xfinity. All you got to do, type DNVR into your remote or on your TV. The app thing will pop up and you can just watch us right there. It's pretty cool. It's like our own network, basically. It's just going to roll all of the live shows back to back to back, all of the best highlights from us, from Nuggets, from Broncos, all of our great shows. So go check us out over on Samsung, Xfinity, or Xumo, and send us pictures. Email them to inthewild@thednvr.com. Show us you basically watching the show on your TV.
Bro, Men in Black is on right now in the bar.
Is that what you're watching?
What a classic film, bro. Will Smith is truly goated. We got to do that soon, bro. Maybe do a top 5 or
movie draft.
Broncos just did their TV show draft. That was pretty fire. Y'all go check that out. Yeah, man. We got to do that soon.
We will. Okay, so Rodney says 95%. Need a more pro-style offense, under center, drop back. I could totally see that.
I feel that.
He also adds more diverse running game and motions, 100%. Chase says, as a Buffs fan since the 80s, I'm 99.99% happy.
That's what's up.
I still hold on to hell.
Let go, brother.
Let it go. Joey says, I want to say 100%, but I still believe we can and should improve at the quarterback position. Plus, we need more.
Quarterback coach position.
Oh, quarterback coach position, sorry. Plus, we need more offensive creativity and a run coordinator in all 90% for me. I mean,
I have kind of wondered why there hasn't been a quarterback coach. Obviously, Pat Shurmur kind of doubles as that.
Yep.
But as somebody, there's so much on an offensive coordinator's plate. And I feel like you can kind of get away with that with Shedeur Sanders because, I mean, he is pretty much an offensive coordinator, quarterback coach at this point of his, development in football IQ. But that's actually an interesting point. And I wouldn't mind at all. I would actually like to see this staff. Obviously, it has to be the right person, the right fit, but I wouldn't mind at all seeing this staff kind of add a quarterback coach because I feel like it's valuable to have kind of a buffer between the offensive coordinator, who is obviously also the play caller, and Pat Shurmur, and kind of that quarterback, whoever that is, between Caden and Juju. That's an interesting point and something that I would definitely endorse.
I mean, my biggest complaint, I guess, was running the ball. We got to run the football, man.
Yeah.
So 100% is strong. But I do think that Buff Nation and Colorado fans have to be some of the most satisfied and pleased with their program right now.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to 95% of the other programs out there. I mean, literally, what he said
I mean, yeah, those are the top programs.
Yeah.
I mean, something like Vandy, like you get that, like
Oh,
coming
absolutely.
off to 2024, you get Pavia back, like you're turned. Mizzou, like there's a lot of momentum as well. Like Syracuse, Fran Brown has really turned that program around. They're fun to watch. Ole Miss has all the money. They have one of the best coaches. Arizona State's on the up and up. Oregon was number 1 in the country for most of the year. Notre Dame just won a title. SMU was just in the playoff. Indiana was just in the playoff. Ohio State just won it all. In Texas, obviously, was just, they've been in it, in the playoff the last 2 to 3 years. So, I mean, yeah, and Colorado is right in that kind of conversation in terms of coming off a 9-win season, just finished first in the Big 12. You just had a Heisman Trophy winner.
Right.
You just landed a 5-star quarterback. There's a ton of momentum in recruiting in the transfer portal. So, yeah, I kind of agree with Brandon Walker here. Like, Colorado is in kind of an elite space of the fan base should be pretty pleased about what's going on in Boulder right now.
For sure.
A gold jacket QB coach would be fire.
I mean,
is there a quarterback that Coach Prime is like played with that maybe is dabble in the coaching?
The only one I can think of, it's not a gold jacket, but Byron Leftwich has made a couple appearances in Boulder. It's obvious that he's tight with Coach and just interested in the program in general. I don't think he's really looking to join.
He's
right
not coaching
now,
currently, right?
I don't know.
I don't think he has been since Tampa.
Yeah, he's took some time off. Any other quarterbacks? Mike Vick, he's close with. Thank you, Peyton.
He's coaching now, though.
He is coaching now. Yep.
Kurt Warner, which would be interesting, man. True.
I mean, obviously select QB, but he's already working with all the guys.
Right.
So I'm trying to think, though. I think that's kind of it. Like, obviously, Aikman's doing the booth and the commentary thing.
Yeah.
He played with Steve Young, right? And
True.
is he still doing ESPN?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. Who was, again, this is before my time. Do you know who his QB/QBs were in Atlanta?
Was Favre there? I don't think Favre is really a coach, but
I don't think that's the guy we want to be adding to the staff. But he might have been. They might have overlapped potentially. Yeah.
Cordell
Stewart,
obviously, yes. Regina,
and obviously there's the connection with him and Juju. That would be that'd be elite. It'd be interesting. I wonder. Yeah, I kind of wondered Coach Prime's thoughts on that, a quarterback coach, because obviously it's different. Maybe he thought Shador don't need one, and I completely get that. But moving forward,
I wonder if this is just how he operates. So, like, this would be a great question for Neely. Like, was it like this at Jackson? Was the OC just the quarterback coach?
Because wasn't Bartolone maybe a quarterback coach at one point too at Jackson State? I thought
he was OC at Jackson State.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, let's play fill in the blank.
Let's get it.
And then get your questions in. Super chats now. Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer's coaching at UAB still, I think. Fill in the blank, Scotty. Colorado versus blank will be the game of the season this year.
Two immediately come to mind. I'm going to try to pick one quickly. I'm going to say Colorado versus Kansas State will be the game of the season. I believe that's the final game, second to last game. Is it Arizona State or Kansas State the final?
K-State. At K-State is the final game of the season.
Yeah, regular season finale will be the game of the season. What say you?
I look at this Utah game, man.
Ooh.
And, of course, I'm going to throw out Fort Worth just because TCU was so lit the last time.
Facts.
But that's just going to be so hard to live up to. I'll also throw out Iowa State.
Yeah?
I just think
they're a fun team, bro.
That's a fun team to play against. It's always a battle. Living up to the Baylor game last year is going to be damn near impossible. But one of these games is going to pop especially, I'd put mine on Utah and Iowa State. Two, kind of like your pick for K-State.
Yeah.
Those could be big games in terms of the future of, or the who's going to win the Big 12.
100%. The other one I was thinking about would be BYU. It's also on the screen right now. I mean, that rematch of the Alamo Bowl, both teams will be fired up. And kind of as kind of alluded to yesterday, it's that kind of growing budding rivalry / friendship with between Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and Kalani Sitake. That'll be fun to watch. Both those teams will be ready to play for what should be a really good matchup.
ASU, the last two times the Buffs played ASU, they've been great games. The Shador drive, the pass to Javon Antonio to set up the Mata game-winning field goal.
What was before that?
Before that was in 2022, actually, when they were terrible. Jordan Tyson had a big punt return to bring him close within one possession late. It was a high-scoring game. It was like 43-35, I think, the final score. The Buffs, that was, other than the Cal game, that's probably the game they played the best in that 2022 season. So those two teams always put up a good one.
Yeah.
GT, of course.
It'd be huge.
I think a lot of people are excited for that. I think next year that one will be definitely circled when the Buffs go to Atlanta to play GT.
Definitely.
Fill in the blank, Scotty. Blank will be the best Big 12 quarterback in 2025.
Ooh, that's a hell of a question, dog.
Who you got?
I don't know, bro. I'm gonna have to think about this for a couple. Do you have an answer already?
I mean, I can help you out here and throw out
me
some
out.
names. You got your guy Avery, of course.
Right.
Fafita is back. Devin Dampierre, Rocco Beck, Josh Hoover. He put up numbers at TCU.
Our guy Sawyer.
Shoot, Sawyer's back.
Yeah.
What about Jake Retzloff?
Right.
Are we sleeping on Retzloff?
Wow, that's a hell of a question, bro.
And then, of course, the Colorado Buffaloes with Caden
Right.
Salter and Julian Lewis.
Right. It's got to be a combination of individual production and team success. Mm-hmm. Right?
But, like, Shador was clearly the best quarterback in the conference. Like, it wasn't even close.
But I think for those reasons, individual production and team success, they were, atop the conference pretty much.
But in terms of, like, numbers, like, that's what I'm talking
right.
about, where it's, like, not even close.
So that's what you're just talking about, straight up numbers, just raw what they did on the field individually.
Yeah, like, who would be your pick right now for, like, first team All Big 12 quarterback?
I'm going to go with my guy. I'm going to go Avery Johnson.
Really?
I'm going to go Avery Johnson. I just think, he had a whole season to...
That's kind of crazy, Scotty.
His first season as a starter this past year, I think he did pretty well. For, again, a really young guy, a true sophomore. And I think, again, coming into his junior year, I think he's going to have a lot of... Jace Brown is back, one of the most explosive receivers. He's going to be able to throw to Dylan Edwards. They're going to be able to run the ball. He's going to be, obviously, insulated by a running game. They're well coached. I think Avery Johnson, there's something about him I just really enjoy in terms of the way he plays. And let's not forget, he played really well against Colorado this past year. He did.
He was okay.
he played pretty good. So I'm gonna go with Avery Johnson. What say you?
I'm between two guys, and I think they have similar play styles: Devin Dampierre and Caden Salter.
Yeah, I love both those guys. You know how I feel about Dampierre, and obviously I think K-Salt's gonna ball.
If I had to pick one, I mean, it's so hard to argue against what Devin Dampierre did with the quality of teammates he had at New Mexico.
He went crazy, dog.
Like, to do that at that program is insanely impressive. No disrespect to Caden, obviously. I think he's really good. But
no, for sure.
Doing it at Liberty is definitely different than doing it at New Mexico. So I'll give it to Dampierre for now. Next one. The new coach that Neely was talking about yesterday will be blank. Did any names come to mind?
I mean, so the one who he was asked about on that yesterday, I think, D. Ware. DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware, I'm like, I can see it. And Unc kept flashing that damn Cowboys helmet. Obviously, that had to do with Gerard potentially, but I don't know. That was kind of the name that came to my mind. How about you?
One name did come to mind, but it doesn't fit the position of D-line. I thought he was maybe talking about Mike Zimmer for a minute.
That honestly never crossed my mind.
I mean, already on the staff at Jackson State. I mean, his son's on the staff here. It's a family thing with Coach Prime. You know, he loves to do stuff like that. Plus, there was all sorts of talk about Mike Zimmer 2 years ago coming to this staff. Coach was literally saying Mike Zimmer is coming. He never ended up showing up. He ends up going to Dallas to be the DC. And it doesn't make sense for D-line because Mike Zimmer's a DB's coach. So that's why I kind of rolled that one out. But that was the first name that come to mind. Other than that, I have no idea.
I really have no idea. I'm fascinated. He got me excited though, for sure.
Yeah.
Alyssa, can you scroll up a little bit to either King Mars or
Oh Lord.
or Reef's comment? Yeah, Reef right there. We don't gotta act like Avery Johnson is good at football, y'all. Like I get the Kansas State game it's right there. You just went past it. It's from Reef. He goes, he was okay, but
That's what I said.
Colorado couldn't contain him and underhit his arm. We don't have to act like Avery Johnson isn't good at football, y'all. Like I get that game was a sore spot, but bro is really good at football. And again, he's still a young guy. I think he could pop off this year. Thank you, Reed, for having my back, bro. I appreciate that.
I'm just gonna say, you look at the touchdowns and interceptions, it looks nice. You look at the rushing numbers, it looks nice.
Yes.
The guy,
we watched the game, like I'm like, oh wow, he's against
Scotty.
the Colorado defense was really good.
Scotty, the guy completed 58% of his passes last year.
It's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
That's not best quarterback in the conference worthy. I'm sorry.
Not last year, but we're obviously projecting. And I think somebody else said too, like the rest of these guys that we're talking about, it's kind of wait and see. Like we're kind of projecting. Aside from maybe Retzloff and
of course
the ASU quarterback. We'll see.
That's just in order for him to like actually make.
And no, Rayola is not in the Avery Johnson consideration. Let's be for real.
Like if he throws like 64% or 63%, that is a massive jump. That is massive from 58.
You said to where?
To like 63, 64.
Yeah. You don't think he's capable of doing that, bro?
That is a massive jump. I will say it again.
We'll see. I agree, though. It would be a massive jump, but I'd be shocked if he was in the 50s again this in 2025.
I mean, look, he's a good player. I'm not trying to say that he sucks or anything. It's just that
I get
the best.
The best? We'll see.
I can't get there.
Would you say, was he not top 5 to you in the Big 12 this past year?
I mean, he probably was, but it's 5.
Yeah. And Shador's gone.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Next one. Chat's throwing out Geno Atkins, and I saw that one on Twitter yesterday too. That'd be an interesting name. He was a dog. Scotty, my way too early pick to win the national championship next season is blank.
Tennessee,
really?
Tennessee, bro.
Wow.
Tennessee. I know, right? That's a real dark horse. That's a real dark horse for you.
I love that answer.
Tennessee. How about you?
I'm going to say Texas. I'm buying the Arch hype.
So am I. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be great. So, I mean, yeah, they're going to have the trenches figured out for sure. So, yeah, as long as Arch can come in and be who a lot of people think he's going to be, they're going to be right in the mix for sure.
Tennessee, though. Damn.
2 SEC teams we picked, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nico is just going to open up some eyes.
He is really good. Blank will be the highest drafted buff in the 2026 NFL draft. So not this year's draft, the draft after this.
DJ McKinney.
I like that pick.
DJ McKinney. He's transforming his body as we speak right now into an NFL cornerback. And obviously he has the skills. Again, the experience that he had in 2024 playing opposite of Travis Hunter, where he was getting a bunch of targets. Right. And obviously it led to his high tackle numbers, but that experience is valuable. So I think here in 2025, he's going to ball out and be a really high draft pick in 2026.
I'm going to say Omari Miller.
Love it.
I think he could have a Travis-esque season at wide receiver.
Travis-esque. That's the second time you mentioned that now, bro.
Bro, 90 catches, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. You tell me O can't do that?
Well, Travis' numbers is more like 1,400, I feel like. But
I thought he had 1,100.
He had 1,250.
Okay.
1,250. It's kind of in the middle.
Still.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can see it, bro. But yeah, that's, you said it twice. You said you put Travis-esque numbers. I can see it, bro. I can see it. As long as he gets the targets, I can see it. Because, again, he's a big play waiting to happen. He's not catching the ball and going down on the first guy who's trying to get him on the ground. So, yeah, I can see it, bro.
King Mars is asking who's all coming out. This is on the fly, so bear with me here. Obviously, the two guys we mentioned.
Preston for sure.
Preston for sure. The linebackers, the transfers.
Yeah.
I feel like Big Anquin Barnes is going to be draft eligible. Sam Okunlola will be draft eligible. Arden Walker, Tajay McCoy.
Colton would be as well too, right?
Colton would be. Jaheim Otis is.
Yes, definitely. Probably all those guys. Tavian Coleman probably as well.
Gabriel Lightfoot.
Right.
Terrell Timmons is draft eligible after this season. Both Isaiah and Dallin would be draft eligible.
Yep. Good call.
Zach Atkins, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works eligibility wise.
It's just 3 years after high school.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Some of the offensive linemen, Aki Ogunbiwi, Chrysler is an older player, I think, too.
Definitely. A lot of options.
There's a lot of them, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, like Tafik Bayer.
I was just going to say Tafik as well, yeah. Yeah, Keaton Wade.
Yep, another great pick. All right, get your questions in the chat.
Amari McNeil probably as well.
Definitely Amari McNeil. Yeah. I mean, quite a few, man. This is like, it's not obviously... So college football, I view it like Tyler Brown.
Yeah.
College football, I view it like you have these years, right? It's almost like the Detroit Lions this year, where it was like, this is their year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like last year was Colorado's year because of who they had in Shador and Travis. But usually the year after the year is a letdown, right? And with the way Colorado's roster is structured, I just don't see that happening. It's such a strong roster.
We've talked about it, bro. Like, it's a deeper, more well-rounded roster than even it was last year with the top-heavy talent with two of the top 3 players in the draft. Like, the young guys that were able to, obviously contribute here in 2024, they're a year older. There were guys that we just didn't get to see on the field in 2024 because there was so much high-level production at their position that we just didn't get to see that we will see in 2025. So this roster is really well put together. And again, you have to give a shout out to Corey Phillips and Coach Box on the recruiting side of things, hitting the transfer portal as well. And as hard as they have, this is a real football program. With a U program.
Facts. And that's kind of the big takeaway from today's show. Just looking at the 2026 class, seeing Booby Feaster reclassify, potentially one of the top players in 27 class.
Yep.
Reclassifies down. He mentions Colorado. Like,
yep.
It's just different here now, man.
With a bunch of programs, 11 other programs.
Facts. Yeah, for real. Troy's asking where you went to college, bro.
I went to college, University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. It's really northern Wisconsin. Eau Claire, Wisconsin is about an hour and a half south of the Twin Cities in Minnesota. We played in the WIAC, played football in the WIAC, Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Whitewater was in our conference. Quinn Miners, the Denver Broncos all-pro guard, I believe, is a Whitewater grad. We played against him every year. So, UMD, I wonder if that's University of Minnesota Duluth. Because I'm familiar with that. Or is that say UMG?
Conference?
Does that say UMG or UMD? Yeah. So I think that's University of Minnesota Duluth. I'm familiar with that.
Cornholio says, I saw someone say yesterday that 17 scouts have to show interest in order for a player to be invited. Is that accurate? On the NFL Combine site, it says the directors of both national and some other scouting service, which combined represent 28 NFL teams, are joined by members of various NFL player personnel departments to form the committee. The participating NFL executives can rotate on a yearly basis. They remain anonymous. All eligible players are reviewed and voted on by the committee members. Each athlete receiving the necessary number of votes by position is then extended an invitation. While it is not a perfect science, the goal of the committee is to invite every player that will be drafted in the ensuing NFL draft. I don't know if the number 17 thing is accurate or not.
I never heard that.
It's not a well-known process, obviously. They keep it under wraps for sure.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. What's up, Rodney? Just curious. I know they target certain areas and types of players, but CU hasn't gotten any Polynesian players. Just look around, and every team has a lot of them. And a lot of them are real dogs.
See, you just got one in the portal. Money Taimani from Ole Miss. But I mean, Rodney wants some Usays on the team. I feel, I respect it.
Absolutely. Utah actually has like a big Polynesian culture.
Yeah, them and BYU.
And that's why you notice BYU and Utah have a lot of those guys.
Facts.
But yeah, literally families move out to Utah for like athletics from Hawaii, the Polynesian island, and stuff like that.
No doubt. Yeah, they got some dogs on the football field for sure.
I mean, look, I'm not going to complain about the areas Colorado's recruiting right now because they are nailing the South.
Yep.
They're absolutely crushing
Texas.
it. Yep.
Georgia.
Not going to complain about it. What's up, Kev? East Coast Kev with the super chat. Even if they're not invited to the combine, players can still get drafted, of course. I have faith in our players, especially Sheppard and Block Bully.
Facts.
I mean, absolutely. The combine is not... It's not even the beginning. It's not the end of anyone's journey to the NFL.
Nope.
It's just another showcase. And as Unc talked about yesterday, Colorado might have the showcase of the year when Pro Day happens.
Man, I can't
in
wait
about
for
a
that.
month. I can't wait for
Cannot
spring
wait.
ball either, Nick.
Less than a month, bro. Less than a month from the first spring practice, dog.
What do we have, 4 minutes, Alyssa? We got a couple minutes to kill. How you spending the first weekend without football, bro?
Is that this weekend?
Yeah. Super Bowl
Yeah,
was
Super
last
Bowl.
weekend.
Wow, yeah, it was just Sunday. Wow. Yeah, I'm not doing nothing, bro. I'm chilling, bro. Hopefully this nice weather stays with us through the weekend, and maybe I can just get outside. You feel me? Look at some mountains or something. That's probably what I end up doing.
No, you're
No,
I mean, you can go outside if you want, but the high tomorrow is 33.
Jesus. What about Sunday?
41. Not bad.
That's not
but,
terrible.
I mean, we're not getting 50 degrees like this for a while. This is false summer number 3 that we're getting. False spring number 3. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Just a couple more tidbits of news potentially here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Colorado came out with 2 new dates on the football calendar.
Mm-hmm.
One being homecoming. The homecoming game has been announced. That'll be November 1 against Arizona.
Love it.
Homecoming
Absolutely
against
love
the
it.
Cats. How you feel about that matchup, Jakey?
Arizona tried to schedule their homecoming for the
They
Buffs
did.
last
They
year.
did.
Let's show them how it really goes down at homecoming.
And then family weekend, September 20th against Wyoming.
Wow, so this is some interesting news, actually. The Bears just hired Kyle Devan as their offensive line coach. He was the Buffs offensive line coach in 22. I liked him.
The Chicago Bears?
Yes.
Okay. Never heard
I
of dude.
think so.
But if you like them, go crazy.
Matt Zenas just said the Bears. He didn't say where.
The Bears.
That has to be Chicago.
What's dude name again?
Kyle Devan.
Kyle Devan. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's, yeah.
Say less. We got ourselves a new O-line coach.
He was a part of Michigan staff when they won the Joe Moore Award like 2 years in a row. I'm pretty sure.
Hey, did you see the Buffs page tweet out these Valentine's Day?
No.
Hey, the first one is I can be your mantrez.
Oh, my God.
Hey, that's hilarious. Hey, they got one of Charlie Offerdog talking about I must stash you to be my Valentine.
What is it?
They got Jordan Seaton one talking about it's in the bag. Seaton.
How about Cash Cleveland? You're worth more than all the cash in the world.
They got Tyler Brown talking about you're my rock.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, no, that's too funny. That's too funny. Hey, I had another one too. Did you see the all-name team?
Oh my God, I
class?
meant to save this for this week. I forgot about it.
The all-name team for the 2025 recruiting class. We got Cannon Pig, committed to Sanford. We got a guy coming to the Big 12. We'll see him this year. Blake Hogshooter
Hell yeah.
at Houston. We got Sir Bible at San Jose State. We got Hype Grand at Ohio. Vanderplug at Oregon.
What was that?
Vanderplug. Sean Hammerbeck in Nebraska. Shamarius Peterkin at Virginia Tech.
Peterkin?
Peterkin. Shamarius Peterkin. This is the best one right here. This is an elite name. Demon June.
Wow.
Demon June at North Carolina. What a freaking name.
Crazy.
We got JV and Goo at Arizona. Grant Bierman at Illinois. And at K-State, Sirius Stenard.
Ooh, that's a strong
kinda
one.
fire.
They saved the best for last.
Sirius Stenard.
Yeah, shout out to Pig Cage.
No, that was Cannon Pig, bro. Cannon Pig.
No, there was a player named Pig Cage.
Really?
Yes.
Shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Cash Cleveland definitely would have been on the 2024
sure.
all-name team, no doubt.
Sure. Are we done? Are we good?
Yeah, good.
Chat, we made it through another week. RK will be back on Monday.
Yes, sir.
See y'all then. Hit the like button. Let's go Buffs.
Squad.
We all silly like the mayor.